All right, welcome to the explainer. If you're getting started with Django, I bet you've hit this wall. You build this awesome site, you run the server, and it looks completely broken. The styling's gone, the images aren't there, and it just feels like all your hard work vanished. Don't worry, today we're going to fix that for good. Does this look familiar? Yeah, on the left, that's the dream. That's the beautiful site you designed. And on the right, that's the frustrating reality, right? Just plain unstyled HTML. If you've seen this, trust me, you are not alone. Let's get to the bottom of why this happens and how to make sure it never happens again. This right here is the classic static files problem. It's kind of like a rite of passage for every new Django developer. But the good news is it's actually super easy to solve, and we're going to walk through it completely in the next few minutes. So to fix the problem, we first have to understand why it's even a problem. See, Django is incredibly organized. It intentionally keeps your website's logic and your HTML templates separate from all the visual stuff, your CSS, your images, your JavaScript. It calls all that stuff static files. And it does this for really good reasons, like security and performance, especially when you go to deploy your site. Here's a good way to think about it. Your HTML is like the frame of a house. It's the structure. Well, your static files, that's everything else. That's the paint, the furniture, the appliances, all the stuff that makes the house actually look good and work properly. They give your site its personality. So yeah, we're talking about your style sheets, your scripts, all your images, even custom fonts. But here's the kicker. By default, Django has no idea where to find any of these files. We literally have to give it a map. The solution is really just a two-step process. First, we're going to organize our files in a nice, clean structure. And second, we're going to configure our project to tell Django exactly where to find that structure. Let's start with the configuration. Okay, step one is all about organization. Super easy. In your project's main directory, right there next to manage.py, just create a new folder, and you're going to call it static. Now just take all your asset folders, your CSS, JS, images, all of them, and just move them right inside this new static folder. Boom. You've just created a single, predictable home for all your assets. And now for the map itself. We need to open up our project's settings.py file and add this one single line of code. Static files strs is basically just a list of places where Django should go looking for static files. And with this line, we're telling it, hey, look at a folder named static that's located at the root of the project. That's it. And this next part is so crucial. I can't stress it enough. Anytime you make a change to your settings.py file, the Django development server won't see it until you restart it. So just hit Control-C in your terminal to stop it, and then run the run server command again. Okay, so Django now knows where our static files live, but we still have one more job to do. We need to tell our HTML templates how to actually ask for them correctly. And there are two ways to do this: the quick and dirty way, and then the right way. So the first method is just to hard code the path. You could just add /static at the start of your links for CSS, JavaScript, and images. And you know what? During development, this will probably work. But it's not the right way to do it. It's really inflexible, and it's going to cause you headaches later, especially when you try to deploy your site. The proper way to do this is what we call the Django way, and it uses a special template tag. The very first thing you need to do on the very first line of any HTML file that uses static files is add this, %load static. This basically tells Django, hey, get ready, we're going to need some static file URLs in here. Once you've loaded that in, all you have to do is wrap your asset paths with this tag. So instead of that hard-coded path, you just write @static css/main.css. When the page gets rendered, Django will see this tag and dynamically figure out the correct full URL for you. This is way more robust, and it's the standard best practice. And this table just sums it all up perfectly. The simple path is fast for quick test, but it's inflexible. The Django tag method, yeah, it needs that one extra line of setup, but it's the professional, production-ready way to build your applications. It is absolutely the way to go. So after creating our static folder, updating settings.py, restarting that server, and using the proper static template tag in our HTML, it's time for the moment of truth. Let's refresh the page and see the result. And there it is. It just works. Your website now looks exactly the way you designed it. The CSS is applying styles, the JavaScript is running, and your images are loading perfectly. It's a huge difference, and it all came from just a few simple lines of configuration.
So let's just recap those 4 key takeaways. Number 1, store all your assets in a root static folder. 2, point to that folder in your settings.py file using static files diars. 3, always restart your server after changing settings. And 4, use the load static and static tags in your templates. That's really it.
You've just mastered a truly fundamental Django skill. Managing static files the right way turns what was a common point of frustration into a solid foundation for all your projects going forward. This simple fix really opens the door to building much more complex, dynamic, and beautiful applications. So the only question left is, what are you going to build next?